Welcome back to another edition of In the Huddle, talking Science Hill football with head coach Stacy Carter. I'm your host, Tom Taylor. Coach, a couple of weeks ago we went to that muddy place at Sullivan Central in Blountville, and a tough place to play. Last Friday night back home on the turf, home crowd, better field conditions, big win for the Hilltoppers.
Well, it was a better night all the way around for us. Felt like last couple of games we had a good rhythm offensively, and some of it may have been because of weather, and some of it was kind of how we were playing. And I felt like with the good weather and the turf, we really got off to a good start. Really was really smooth on offense, got a shutout on defense, and just all in all, just a great job.
Second shutout of the season for Science Hill football. Of course, got one early in the season against Morristown West. Played out a couple of big dogs Friday night. Bedard was out. Of course, Mikey White, Tyreek Perkins. Tell us about the kind of the walk-in wounded for Science Hill.
Well, we had a lot of guys out, and good thing about it, we had a lot of other guys step up, and exactly. We've been able to do that all year. And by losing, Quentin, we found out Wednesday he had an emergency appendectomy and had his appendix removed. Mikey and Tyreek were kind of day-to-day last week. We chose not to play those guys. They really were not ready to play, and definitely a big loss to our team when those guys are not in there. And it's just the guys kept performing, and the other guys stepped up. It's kind of been like that all year. Justin we thought was ready. He came up the first or second series and went out with another ankle injury. It was not as bad as the last one, but still, it was set us back and kind of changed our plans again. But again, other people stepped up. We had two other quarterbacks come in there and did a great job. But the good thing about it, I think all those guys are going to be back, with the exception of Quentin. We still don't know when he's going to be back. We're hoping for a speedy return for him, but he will be playing before the end of the year. But the other guys should be back in the next couple of weeks, full speed.
Also, Malik Stevens, we lost him, am I right, shoulder surgery for the rest of the season?
Malik Stevens is the only player, and what a job he did, and we named him our team defensive captain. And but he is going to have surgery when we play Daniel Boone that night. So keep him in your prayers. Great kid, and he's going to have shoulder surgery on the same shoulder that he had last year, and he had surgery last year in the same exact ball game. So that same Friday's when he had surgery. So keep him in your prayers. Good kid. He's going to have a good baseball season, and he'll be back soon.
Let's recap the season so far. Again, Coach Carter, the win the other night. Again, 56-0 shutout win over the Volunteer Falcons here in Johnson City. He's now, as a head coach, 102 wins and 30 defeats for head coach Stacy Carter. Recapping the season as we do each week, we started things off in Elizabeth and winning 56-34. Won at Crockett in our conference opener 63-27. Defeated Morristown West 48-0. Defeated Siegel here 52-28. Lost to Brentwood in a heartbreaker, the only loss of the season for the Toppers 45-42. We've rolled off three in a row since then, winning here against Tennessee High 35-29. Winning in the mud, as we said 2 weeks ago, at Sullivan Central, and then winning back here Friday night in the shutout, 56-0. Again, the Hilltoppers now 4-0 and 7-1 overall. And Coach, before we go to the highlights, let me talk about the standings, the Big Seven. Dobbins Minute right now at 5-0, Science Hill 4-0. Daniel Boone and Crockett at 2-2, along with Tennessee High at 2-2. Volunteer at 0-4, and Central at 0-5. The schedule this week, we'll talk about Boone. That's our next opponent in Gray this Friday night at Nathan Hale Stadium. Tennessee High will be hosting Crockett at the Stone Castle. Sullivan Central plays at Volunteer. And then Dobbins Minute has the week off before they get ready for the Hilltoppers next Friday night, Halloween, here in Johnson City. Coach, once again, Hilltoppers get out of the gate early. They score often, put up 28 in the first quarter. Let's talk about this first highlight. T.J. Delaney, heck of a run. After he caught the pass in Magoo, didn't get much of a pass as far as distance. Most of this touchdown was done by TJ after a great throw by Malik, but 36-yard strike and set this one up for us.
Well, it was a play-action pass. We actually faked to TJ through one of our outside zone fake, and he went a wheel route down the sideline. Malik was able to step up in the pocket and get good vision and put enough air on the ball, and TJ ran under it, and just a great throw and a great catch for a first score.
Toppers off and running 7-0. Second touchdown comes right back. Here's a guy that's been banged up. You got him back, and we're going to read his stats here in a minute. This kid had a heck of an item. Once again, for Science Hill football, it's somebody different every week. This week, Trey Sutton stepped up, had a heck of a football game on both sides of the ball for the Toppers.
He had a great game on both sides of the ball. I think this is a very big key for our team. We've been waiting for this. Been asking him every week, when are you ready to run? And he's just not been healthy, and it's been a slow process. He had a very bad groin tear where it actually tore from the bone, and it was going to take him a long time recovery. Defensively, he just played lights out also. But his score, we had some jet motion, and he made a great move, and just another great score. He is very talented with the ball. I mean, he has very good hips. He's just very explosive, and something we were missing. It really was something we were missing, and now we think he's ready. He's kind of been held back all season. Defensively, and we thought coming into the season he was the best defensive player in the league. I still believe that, but now he's just now healthy where everybody's seeing that. So I think you're going to see a lot of great things from Trey Sutton, and we're happy to have him back at full speed.
Once again, a 3-yard run, but he scored. And so, Coach, once again, another horse in the barn, if you will. Use an old farming analogy. Another horse in the barn for Science Hill. That much more tougher to defend this football team. Lots of weapons. And now Trey Sutton's back. It gives you yet another weapon.
He definitely gives us another weapon. Coming into the year, if we would have, we thought he was going to be our go-to back after last year. What he done at the end of the year last year, we knew he was the player, and we knew we needed to get him the ball. But unfortunately, the injuries happened. He had to get healthy. He's been slow going on defense, but we really need him on defense. But now he's back, so I hope he makes a great run at the end here.
He scored the second touchdown. Again, you're watching In the Huddle. Head coach Stacy Carter. We're talking Science Hill Hilltopper football. I'm your host, Tom Taylor. Third one was Mr. Magoo stepped up, ran this bad boy straight down the field, 86-yard gallop for Malik. Nobody touched him. Great run by our quarterback.
Well, we had an empty formation and went in. I think that's the only time we ran it all night. We gave him an option to throw the bubble screens or and run a power, and he was able to. He saw the bubbles weren't there, and he took it up and followed the guard up into the hole, and then made a great move to get out in the open. And then his acceleration was just outstanding when he left the guys to make that long run. So just a great play, and good to see him healthy also.
Absolutely. And, of course, an 86-yard scamper, a gallop, whatever adjective you want to use, he wasn't touched. He put on the Jets and was gone. Last touchdown of the first quarter, all this happening in the first quarter of this football game. T.J. Delaney, his second touchdown of the game, an 11-yard run for the Hilltoppers.
Well, we had put in a speed option, and I thought it would be good for Trey and TJ and people and Mikey when he gets back. People with that explosion on the outside, and Malik went to the left, and the end took him. He made the pitch, and he just outran him to the corner of the end zone. Just another great run.
Absolutely. Great run for the Hilltoppers. We'll take a break when we come back. More highlights to show you. More touchdowns. That's 28 of the 56 points scored in the first quarter. More highlights come back with this. You're watching, again, In the Huddle program, head coach Stacy Carter, as you watch Science Hill Hilltopper football.
From the day they're born, there's one thing most Johnson City families look forward to. Sure, for the baby to be healthy, smart, and happy, but also to be a topper. A Science Hill Hilltopper, for them to be part of one of the best high schools in Tennessee, where they'll be academic achievers, make friends for life, and play sports like no one else. So for all of those budding toppers out there, be patient. You'll have your day. From Champion Chevrolet Cadillac, where we think being a topper is an experience they'll remember for a lifetime.
Wake up to a new, better breakfast. It's Golden Corral's tastier than ever ultimate weekend breakfast buffet. For one low price, it's our new buttermilk pancakes, bacon, sausage, signature omelets, and more. Juice included. It's a better breakfast, and it's only at Golden Corral.
Welcome back in the Huddle. Head coach Stacy Carter talking Science Hill Hilltopper football. I'm your host, Tom Taylor. Again, we got through the first quarter, 28-0, coach. Second period, we pick right back up. Once again, let's go back and call out Trey Sutton's name. Big 24-yard run, but the big guy. Set this play up for us, would you please?
As an inside zone out of the pistol, we run that play. The quarterback has 3 different options. He could either give it, pull it or he can throw a bubble on the outside, and he read it and gave it to Trey. Trey made a great move right in the interior line there to spring free, and then you saw his speed. Just him again. That's something we've been missing. We've been missing that explosiveness, and we knew we had him, but we just finally got him healthy. So that was just a great run, and hopefully it's kind of premonition of things to come. So he is very good.
At a Hilltopper practice, does each guy get so many reps? I mean, you got all these guys back there running the football, Delaney and Laughlin and now Sutton, and there's more. Everybody get a chance to run reps? You stay with your first team O, or how do you keep everybody crisp for Friday nights?
Well, I mean, Coach Adams does a good job of getting them in there, but it is hard sometimes. We run a lot of team offense, so we probably do more team offense than anybody in the area. We really run a lot of plays. We run a whole lot more than most people do, and we will this week too, because we got to get a lot of different people in. We played a lot of quarterbacks. We're going to get some of our younger quarterbacks more reps because of injury. Justin Bedard last week had a lot of quarterback reps. We were hoping to get him in a lot in quarterback, a lot of meaningful reps because he can really play, and get Malik out at receiver. That wasn't able to happen, and all of a sudden we're playing two young quarterbacks that didn't have a lot of reps with these running backs because we had one fumble, and I think that was because they have never worked together. Because it is a hard thing to get that many backs and that many quarterbacks, especially working with the same people. So all these younger quarterbacks have worked with the 9-10s, and they have never worked with the 11th and 12th graders. So it definitely is hard sometimes, but we do the best we can on that.
So last week, Magoo got a chance to take a break late in the ballgame, put in Ben Wooten. He got some reps, and then also Jalen Adams. So you did have a chance for some of the youngsters, if you will, to play last Friday night against Volunteer.
Yes, it's good reps. I mean, there's nothing like Friday night reps, and I'm glad to see those two get some reps. Good kids, and definitely, they're our future. They're our future, and they're very talented. But two different styles. We have one thrower and then one runner, and both of them tried to do a little bit of both. But it was good to see those guys get in there and get some live action.
You're watching In the Huddle with head coach Stacy Carter. We're talking science over Hilltopper football. I'm your host, Tom Taylor. And, Coach, last week Jacob Laughlin got his first career touchdown ever as a Hilltopper. This week he gets two. Here's the first one in the first half, a 30-yard run. Set this one up for us.
Well, he had jet motion again, and Jacob was able to break free with a nice hole, had a good move and to the left side, and had good acceleration, got in the end zone. Just a great run by him. Good kid. He's been patient because we have so many backs. We have a lot of backs, and he's waited for his time, and I'm glad to see him have a big breakout game, and that was great for Jacob.
So close out the scoring in the first half. I don't want to dismiss the fact or not tap on the fact that, once again, old steady Alex Rennell in there point afters, boom, boom, boom. He's virtually automatic in those point afters, and he did them all again in the first half for us.
Yeah, I think he had all kinds of kicks in the end zone. I think every one of them went in the end zone too. And he's just a good player. Hope to get him at a good college. He wants to play on the next level. He is going to have the opportunity, I'm sure. Probably going to go and kick for a lot of people, but he's going to make somebody a real good kicker one day.
I know this is going to be a kind of a silly question, but how important is a kicker in high school or college, but certainly down on our level in high school, to be able to kick that ball in the end zone for an automatic touchback each time? Is that a weapon for your team?
Oh, it's a big weapon in high school because, a lot of our players are playing, they're usually playing both ways. This is not like it's a college team or like a pro team that they might just, maybe the only thing they're playing is special teams because these guys are getting tired. And if you can get a ball in a good athlete's hands, sometimes it can really hurt you on kickoff returns, punt returns. And by him just being able to kick that ball in the end zone, I mean, they're not able. They're getting on 20 every time, and it kind of, it slows it down. It takes that off of us. And our kickers have been able to do that, and I think it's a huge weapon to have those guys.
There you go. You heard it from the man himself, who, by the way, as we said earlier, now 102 wins, only 30 defeats in his coaching career. Obviously knows a little bit about football and how to coach and be successful. Coach, we go to the second half. Jacob Laughlin one more time, a 1-yard plunge. Again, just seeing his highlight, he just kind of bowled his way in for the touchdown.
Yeah, he just made a good move and ran over a guy, and it was short run, but just again, it's great to see Jacob get some credit he deserves. Been a great senior leader for us, a great kid, so it's just a big day for him.
Second touchdown of the night for Jacob, and his third of a career. Of course, he got his first one last week against Sullivan Central. Our last touchdown of the ball game, Jalen Adams. Coach talked earlier about being able to go deep in the quarterback spot. Here's Jalen Adams, the freshman, got that 9-yard run for a touchdown. Again, got in trouble, reversed his field, made it look easy, and had a heck of a run for the little guy.
Well, I mean, he did great, and what he did is had a pass on, and they kind of flushed him out of the pocket. He improvised a lot of stuff that Malik Magoo does sometimes, and was able to make people miss, reverse field, and was able to run it left corner of the end zone. Just a spectacular play by Jalen.
Of course, I said little guy. I meant little guy. He's not little physically, but little from the standpoint he's only a freshman. That's my point. And so he's a youngster coming up and getting some great reps back there. You can't put a dollar amount on experience, obviously, coach in high school. So you got these guys, Wooten and Adams, going 2 and 3 deep at the quarterback spot, getting these guys valuable playing time under the lights on a Friday night. That can only make you a better football team.
It definitely does, and like I say, there's nothing like getting under the lights. I mean, you can practice all you want, but you have to get under their play under those stressful conditions, and both those guys are getting a lot of reps, and they're performing very well. I'm very proud of those guys.
Coming up, we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll again showcase some of the defensive players, pitch their second shutout of the season for the Scienceville defense. Also, some individual stats and some team stats of the victory over Volunteer. Also, ask Coach about coming up. I think it's mid-November. The folks in Nashville, the TSSAA getting ready to do some reclassification. We'll see how it's going to affect Scienceville football for 2015 and beyond. We'll take a break. We'll be right back again. It's In the Huddle. Talking Scienceville Hilltopper football with head coach Stacy Carter. I'm your host, Tom Taylor. We'll be right back as you watch Scienceville Hilltopper football.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Welcome back to In the Huddle, talking Scienceville Hilltopper football. Head coach Stacy Carter. Again, the Hilltoppers at 4-0 and 7-1, heading into game number 9 coming up this Friday night in Gray at Nathan Hale Stadium against the Daniel Boone Trailblazers. We'll talk about that just in a moment. Coach, go back to the Volunteer game, put a wraps on this 56-0 victory. Held the Falcons to 59 yards rushing and 126 yards passing. Their total yardage was 185. It's pretty strong, plus the shutout, 56-0.
Well, our defense is really playing well the last couple of games, and 59 yards rushing is just outstanding. Those guys are just playing great, doing a great job. Coach Nelson's doing a great job with them. We're a little younger on defense than we are everywhere else, and good thing about it is we're going to have all these guys back. But they've had to get game experience, and now they're getting it, and you're seeing the results of it. So just had a great game plan, and really got after Volunteer.
Chase Silvers, Bryson Tolley, Trey Sutton, these kids really came and flew to the football Friday night.
Well, Chase has been playing all year like that. He has been Quentin not having Quentin, he had to step it up again, and Chase stepped it up and did a great job. I mean, he did a super job. Cameron Burson there beside him. Bryson Tolley, one of those young linebackers. Cameron Hill beside of him. I thought both those guys played well. Played very well, got to the football. Exciting to have 2 sophomores there, and they're going to be back for us for the next couple of years. And they both did great. Trey, that's the game we wanted. He's a game changer on defense. Had him out of outside linebacker where he was last year. He's finally healthy enough to run and come off that edge, and just really disruptive. He's very disruptive. He's playing on one side of the ball. He can disrupt everything on both sides because he can make tackles all over the field from that defense. It's actually like a defensive end, outside linebacker, but he really is hard to block. So glad to have him at full speed, and think he's going to do some great things for us on the defensive side of the ball and offensive side of the ball.
We look at the game last Friday night. Some kids maybe get 1 tackle for loss in the game, maybe. This guy had 5 tackles for loss. Trey Sutton, as you said, had a heck of a football game. I think he had a fumble recovery too, did he not?
Well, he caused that fumble.
I
don't think he got the recovery, but he caused the fumble, and very vicious. He had off the side. He is he's a good defensive player, and he's just been what he's been held back from is that injury, and now he's getting better, and now we're seeing how good he is. I think everybody's going to see that around the area.
Of course, we talked about earlier in the highlights, he ran the ball 5 times for 70 yards, scored 2 touchdowns. So this guy came to play on both sides, brought his lunch bucket, or lunchbox or lunch bucket, and just a blue-collar type of football player, Trey Sutton for the Scienceville Hilltoppers. Here's some other numbers. Malik Magoo, again, rushing the football Friday night, 4 times, 103 yards. Passed the football 5 out of 6 for 87 yards. That's pretty good. I'll take that 5 for 6. Head coach likes that, doesn't he?
That's pretty good production for his runs and passes. I mean, that's about as about as good as you can get. It's about a near perfect game, and he's healthy. He's healthy and threw the ball well, ran the ball well, and it's a big part of our offense. If we don't have the running quarterback, it kind of really hurts things, and he's back going. Unfortunately, we lost Justin there. We just want to get him some good reps like that, but it's glad to have him playing that well, and hopefully we get Justin healthy in this next week, and we'll have him doing the same type of stuff.
I liked your grin. That grin with the 5 for 6. That was a happy grin from the coach with his quarterbacks going 5 for 6. That's a great percentage, obviously. Again, you look offensively, Coach, 389 yards rushing, 124 yards passing. As a team, we're 8 for 10 throwing the ball, over 500 yards offense again on a Friday night. Again, number of plays down, but again, point production right there where it's been. We're averaging 50 yards a game, or 50 points a game, I should say. And so we get 56-0, and we're allowing the other team only 23 points a game. So you said it, and we're going back to it, but defense is really stepping up. It's a younger defensive unit versus the offense, and so these kids have really grown over the course of the season, have they not?
They really have, but now we're getting into game 8, 9. I mean, these guys are they're experienced now. Now these guys are playing like juniors and not sophomores, because that's a lot of experience. So now we gonna have to hold them to that standard. We're getting ready to make a run right now. They're growing up right now. They've had to grow up fast, but I think they're ready to. They're ready and they're up for the challenge now.
We're talking to head coach Stacy Carter. We're talking science over Hilltopper football. Coach, you know what I'm going to ask you is I do this every 2-3 weeks. We got 2 games left. Boone out there and Dobbins are here on Halloween. Grade your football team going into the last 2 weeks of the regular season, A, B, C, or D?
Well, I think we're B plus. I mean, we're getting better, and hopefully we're A by the next week. If we keep getting have practice like we did last week and run as smooth as we did this past week, I think we'll be up to A. I think we're that level. The kids are playing very well. Defense is playing a lot better, and we're about where we need to be at this time.
Before we talk about Daniel Boone, let's talk about the TSSAA getting ready to do some reclassification. They've talked about the Super 32 statewide, and there's a magic date, I think, in mid-November where they're going to start announcing everything's coming out. Give us the update right now on Science Hill football for 2015.
Well, we're going to be in the Super 32 anyway. I mean, it unfolds. We just don't know exactly who we're going to play and where we're going to go. A lot of speculation. We know, some of the teams we're going to be playing, but a lot of the teams that were in the 6A classification have went down to 5A classification. I know Sevier County has went down. We thought for sure they were going to be in our league. And Farragut's went down to the 5A classification. So there's been a lot of changes. We know we're playing Hardin Valley. We know we're playing Bearden. I mean, there's been rumors we're going to go all the way down to Bradley Central and even Lebanon and Cookeville to play. I don't think it'll be all those teams, but it could be some of those. Jefferson County will be in our league. And really, Dobbins-Benton will be the only people that are playing in our conference around this area. So it's definitely different. We don't know exactly how many non-conference games we have to get yet. We'll know that when all this comes down to know exactly how the conference is going to be set up. But there's a lot of answers that we just don't know now, and you can speculate all you want to. Our coaches have been in the board trying to figure it out, but at the end of the day, we're not going to know till they come up with those numbers and tell us where we're going to be at. And they've talked about Maryville moving down, moving up. We don't know where they're going to be. They don't know where they're going to be. I mean, there's a lot of different scenarios out there. And I tell you the truth, until they have those meetings and until the TSSAA decides what they want to do, we don't really have a lot of control over that.
There you go. Just line up and play football 2014, right?
Yes, sir.
You got it. Nathan L. Stadium Friday night. Scouting report on Coach Jenkins and his Daniel Boone Trailblazers.
Well, I mean, they definitely had a rough year. I mean, this is not Jeremy. Usually, it's one of his roughest years. But I can tell you one thing: they will be ready to play. They'll be well coached. If there's a game they're going to get up for, it's going to be Science Hill and 2 games and Davy Crockett. I mean, you can chalk that down. That Daniel Boone will be ready to play, and we know they'll be well coached and they'll come after us. It's a hard place to play. I mean, it really is, and I've had a lot of tough games over there. A lot of games I'm mad at halftime. That's been kind of the we call it the twilight zone because there's a lot of funny things that happen over there. I don't know if it's about the dinosaurs or what over there, but definitely it's a tough place. So they're going to be ready to go.
You're killing me. Maybe the dinosaurs. That's awesome. Boone 3-5. Again, this current playoff system, is it still pretty much etched in stone? You can get 5 wins to qualify for the playoffs?
Yeah, I think it is. You have to, and of course we haven't even been thinking about that much, but I think that's where it's at. And who knows again how that's going to all unfold.
Well, I'm looking at Boone. They're 3-5. They need a victory, an upset win, obviously Friday night, and then also the Musket Bowl coming up against Crockett for them to get playoff eligible, I guess. So they're 2-2, 3-5, and you're right. If I'm guessing, Coach Jenkins will make this his Super Bowl. He'll play this like, guys, you can be the spoiler, knock off the big team out of Johnson City. He'll have it. He'll give them bulletin board material, and he'll have them jacked up, ready to go. They'll be ready to play Friday night.
They definitely will. I mean, these are the biggest 2 games of their season right here. No matter what's happened, they think if they could win these next 2 football games, it can save their whole season. And they can go in the playoffs, and they can be the Washington County champs. Because, I mean, that's a big deal. It's a big deal for them, and they'll be up to play. They're up to play us every year. They're well coached. And, it's a game of emotion, and definitely they'll be ready. They're probably glad to have us at home. They know they play very well at home usually, so they'll be ready to go.
JV 9-10, I'll ask you about that in just a second for Science Hill. Let me run down the conference again one more time. Big week this week. Again, Dobbins been at 5-0, have an open day. Science Hill at 4-0. Boone, Crockett, and Tennessee High all right now 2-2 in the conference. Volunteer at 0-4, and Sullivan Central at 0-5. In games this week, of course, Science Hill plays at Boone, as we said. Crockett will be at the Stone Castle against Tennessee High. Central at Volunteer, and DB has the open week for the Indians where they come here on Halloween night. 9-10 JV, what's going on with I call them the junior toppers right now this week?
Well, we're done now. I mean, we were supposed to play Volunteer today. They had to cancel on us, so that's kind of over. I hate to end it that way, but those kids have really had a good year. We played 2 games last week, had a 9-10 with David Crockett on Monday and won that game. Had a great game with those guys. And then we finished up with a freshman game on Thursday with Elizabeth, and we picked that game up late, and they ended up getting us right at the end. It was 21-18, and we ended up coming a little short, but our kids played well.
Good week for them. Good week for the Hilltoppers heading off to Daniel Boone. Good luck to you, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
Go Toppers.
Go Toppers.
Here you go. Hey, Coach Stacy Carter. Love this guy right here. Dinosaur. Love that. That's a quote of the year. Maybe the dinosaurs. Great. That's great. Oh, my. He's something. Appreciate you giving us a listen. Again, go to sciencehillfootball.com and click on Coach Carter's Coaches Show tab. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, have folks watch this show. It's all about promoting the student-athlete at Science Hill Football, and we appreciate him taking his time to do this. We'll join you again next week. Again, you've been watching In the Huddle, head coach Stacy Carter. I'm your host, Tom Taylor. You've been watching Science Hill Hilltopper Football. And as we always tell you, win or lose, be a good sport. So long, everybody.